And we see that giving them more freedom helps them being more productive.
Jean-Charles, at Lord Louise, you've created a culture with your employees. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, we have started the company 6 years ago, and I am coming from Accenture, business consulting company. So we created an X culture at the beginning, and we understood that the employees we have are now between their 20s and 30s. So it wasn't appropriate to the way they were doing business and reacting. So we decided to put the culture of the company of Lord Louise more about pleasure, so that people can be cool at work. That's why I'm not anymore wearing a business tie. And we also have sport. People can play ping pong. They have different kind of sport inside the company. We offer them Uber credits to be able to move. So people are much more like we would be in Silicon Valley, because I have worked in video game industry before, and now it's coming everywhere. We see even at Accenture or McKinsey, people stop having the tie every time, and we see that giving them more freedom helps them being more productive. So we have definitely put the emphasis on this part of pleasure and sharing also, because we do outsource the business development of our customers. So our teams, they really need to stick and to work together. We often use a parallel. I don't know if you saw the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. So Lord Louise is a little bit like that, but without the girls and without the dope. But we are like a team of people, of young people, and we kind of do much more relaxed work. They can arrive whenever they want. They can go at the pool on the lunch. We offer them that. So we think the best way so that people choose our company, because now we are competing with companies such as Google, or that are really sexy. So to attract young and talented people, we have to offer them this kind of culture.
So is that why you've sort of targeted this towards Generation Y? Yeah. And how has this changed? Has it been successful?
Yeah, it has. We switched a few months ago, and since that, the productivity of the people, it has tripled. So it's crazy. It's crazy because they already came before from the best universities in the world. So it's not a question of where they come from on their studies. It's much more a combination of the culture and what we ask them. Plus, we also now share a lot more, because Y generation people, they want to understand why. So if you just say them and tell them what to do, they're not happy. They want to share, they want to add their ideas. So it's not open source company, but a little like that. We help them giving their best, and they can contribute to the company. And why people usually, they don't think their careers as being 20 years in the same company. And on the average, they would change 15 times in their life of jobs. So if we want them to stick with us and stay a little longer than 1 or 2 years, they really have to share the values on the patient. So that's why we have focused on why people, because we have a lot of technology at Lord Louise. So we need young people, because elsewhere they just don't grab the technological part of Lord Louise. So we need young, talented people that can go everywhere in the world. In Geneva, we have a lot of international people, so sometimes they could go abroad if they want. So we really want to be the kind of Lord Louise Academy for them. Most of them want to start their own companies after. So it's not a training company, Lord Louise. We want to keep them, but they often use us and the time they spend with us to train about doing business development and understand how to do it. So we are happy when they come, and we give them the best conditions we can, and if they go away, that's cool also. So we are much more cool about letting them go, and for example, some of them come back a few years later or become our customers.
And so do you recommend that other companies sort of change their working environment to be similar to yours? And if so, how would you recommend that they go about making this change?
Yeah, it's a good question. The luck we have is that our company is just 6 years old. So of course we have started the culture we wanted. If you are a company, for example, a private bank with 1,000 employees and a lot of 50 to 60 years old people, it's much more complicated because you've got to have the Y people plus the X people, and it's not easy to make the change. So I would recommend it for startups. One of our customers is ex-CEO of Google France, and he's definitely having the cool way because he has funded his companies with private equity funds. So he, like us, he has chosen to only take Y people. But if you have a mix of X people and Y people, then you have to do it slowly, because elsewhere you lose all the X people. And if you lose those people, you lose the history, and sometimes you lose the knowledge. So what you've got to do is use what the X people, the oldest, the seniors know, so that they train the young ones. That's the way to do it for companies. But I would say it's not suitable for any kind of companies. We work for private banks, and it's definitely an interesting point. They have a lot of 50 to 60 years old, but those guys, they just don't match anymore with the culture, and they kind of reboot. For example, one of the prestigious private bank here, they just hire 30 years people for the hunting of ultra net worth, but they all come from Procter & Gamble. So it's a blitzkrieg, it's a new beginning. So things are moving faster and faster now. So those companies, those banks, they've got to adapt. So they have no choice. They have got to bring new blood. It's also what some company calls reverse coaching. On the board, they take young people that coach the board. I say the board of the company, not just the operational staff. So they take kids of 20 years old that bring this new blood to the ideas of those older people. So it's kind of a blending culture. And if you blend the culture, you have the best of X people and Y people.
Well, Lord, Louise definitely sounds like a really great place to work. And thank you so much for coming and speaking with us today.
Thank you, Celeste.
That's all from myself and John Child today, but if you like this video, be sure to give it a like and comment on our website.